In many ways, the sandwich is an American institution. It is a fundamental necessity for picnics, parties, and lunchboxes. Have you ever wondered about the sandwiches that used to be on everyone's dinner tables? We'll be discussing a few of the most well-known ones today. Now let's get started. Number 1, sandwich with creamed corn. Making this classic lunchtime dish was quite simple. Basically, it's just a sandwich with sweet corn kernels that have been creamed. Upon finishing the day, simply apply cheese, add your preferred vegetables and herbs to buttered bread and sweet corn, place it in a panini press, and your lunch is ready to eat. This used to be a favorite among those leading hectic lives in the past because it was the ideal snack to have after a demanding day at work or a long day at school. However, creamed corn sandwiches sadly lost favor as times and tastes changed. If prepared at home, it remains a semi-popular option for those who prefer a more vegetarian diet and is still a favorite among those with more conservative tastes. This midday treat is still served at a small number of restaurants. There are probably better options available if you're searching for a delicious low-calorie sandwich. Number 2, sandwich with pimento cheese. Another great American classic is the pimento cheese sandwich. If you were alive during those times, the mere mention of the name is probably enough to bring back memories. The increasing importance of cheese as a staple in American households led to the popularity of this and other cheese sandwiches in the early 20th century. Plus, it's really easy to make. All you need to do is spread a fresh slice of bread with a mixture of mayonnaise, warm milk, shredded cheddar cheese, and pimento peppers. Although this delicious treat originated in the North, the pimento sandwich that we are familiar with today was developed in the South, primarily because pimento peppers are so abundant there. Over time, changing dietary preferences and the availability of more convenient dining options contributed to the sandwich's decline in popularity. However, households still adore the pimento cheese sandwich to this day. Number 3, sandwich with anchovy paste. You haven't heard that one in a while, right? A popular sandwich in the 1950s and 1960s, this one was truly amazing. It was so prevalent in popular culture at the time that it played a major role in the plot of the 1960 James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only. And while it's a little trickier to prepare than some of the other snacks on this list, it's still a fairly straightforward snack. A few toasted slices of bread, some anchovy fillets, breadcrumbs, milk, olive oil, pepper, and some cucumber are all you'll need. Crush the anchovies, then add the breadcrumbs, milk, pepper, olive oil, and mix everything together until you have a smooth paste. Finally, add the cucumbers and spread the mixture over the bread. It's ready to eat if you give it a little toast. It's not for everyone, particularly if you're not fond of anchovies, but if you're okay with them, this sandwich is delicious and healthy enough to try. Number 4, a peanut butter and bacon sandwich. To say that a sandwich with bacon and peanut butter is fantastic would be to sell it short. Peanut butter and bacon are addictive. It's odd that it became so popular because peanut butter and bacon don't seem like a recipe that should go together. It's not surprising that it became as popular as it did in the 1950s and 1960s because it's as easy to make as it is delicious. All you needed for your snack was some peanut butter spread over a few slices of bread, along with some banana slices and bacon strips. From a nutritional standpoint, that's all you need to get through a demanding day. There's a big cheat code in this sandwich. However, as was the case with most things from that era, the treat eventually faded from popular memory due to shifting tastes. However, if you don't mind trying some slightly strange food combinations, peanut butter and bacon is still a staple in many American homes. Give it a try sometime. If you really want to amp up the flavor, you could pack the bacon with browned onions or add some ketchup to the spread. Like the next sandwich on the list, it will hook you from the first bite in either case. Number 5, sandwich with mock ham salad. This sandwich was created for those occasions when all you needed was ham to make a sandwich. The affordability and accessibility of the ingredients contributed to the sandwich's appeal in the 1950s, in addition to its simplicity of preparation. Most importantly, it was simply very delicious, because it was essentially a treat made of everything that would have been thrown out as leftovers in the typical kitchen. It was the ideal sandwich for the era in which it was created. To make it, simply mix together some ground bologna, finely chopped hard-boiled eggs, onions, and sweet pickles, along with mayonnaise. All you had to do was mix everything together in a bowl, chill it, and you would have the ideal spread for your sandwich buns. But as time went on and meat became much more readily available, it didn't make sense to cook up a fake ham sandwich rather than just preparing a real one. So the delicious treat vanished with time. Those searching for meatless substitutes for the more widely consumed sandwich options still find the mock ham salad sandwich to be fairly popular. Number 6. Salad sandwich with bologna. This sandwich is said to have been developed during World War II as a simple rationing meal for soldiers who would be deployed to the front lines for weeks at a time. Whatever the truth of that, in the 1950s and 1960s, this sandwich was a staple of every picnic and home. All you need to make it are hard-boiled eggs, creamy salad dressing, bologna, and a sweet pickle relish to serve. First, use a meat grinder to grind the eggs and the bologna. After mixing it with the salad dressing, let it sit in the fridge for a few hours. Now you have the sandwich of a lifetime. Take it out and spread it on some sandwich buns, perhaps toasted if you want something hot. Everything a person needed to get through the hectic lifestyles people back then led was found in a bologna salad sandwich. It was also really tasty and kept really well, with very easy access to the ingredients. However, as the 1960s came to an end, the need for hearty survival foods began to wane. No matter how popular or not it is right now, bologna salad sandwiches are still a staple at dinner tables all over the world. Number 7. Sandwich with fried Spam. World War II was a difficult period. It was difficult to find good food, and there weren't many options for the typical protein. This made the ideal environment for Spam's 1937 launch and subsequent sales explosion. It was inexpensive, incredibly easy to store, and simple to prepare. They began to use it in everything since it soon became the most readily available source of protein and, for many households, the only source of protein. Of all the recipes, the Spam sandwich was the one that naturally became popular the most. It was easy to make, affordable, and healthful food, everything that the hardworking people of that era needed. All you needed to get started was some toast, some grilled Spam, and a slice of cheese, maybe with some mayo or mustard on top. For the time it was designed for, the Spam sandwich was everything that it needed to be, but the post-war hardship and the cessation of meat scarcity soon meant that the once indispensable lifeline had outlived its purpose. Around the world, people continue to indulge in different versions of the Spam sandwich, so you're not the only one considering giving it a try. The reason this sandwich and the next one on the list are so similar is that they both date back to the same era. Number 8. Sardine and egg sandwich. If you look at the sandwich, the combination of egg and sardine was odd. Sardines and mashed hard-boiled eggs were combined and sandwiched between two slices of bread, as the basic recipe called for. It was developed in the 1920s and remained incredibly well-liked by Americans up until the 1950s. It makes sense too, considering how hard it was to find most protein sources at the time. People had to make do with what they had, and there was no option to grab some ham or turkey from the supermarket. Taking everything into account, the sandwich consisting of egg and sardine wasn't too bad, especially given the circumstances at hand. It satisfied every requirement. It was inexpensive, simple to prepare, easy to obtain, and healthful. Everyone who lived hectic lives and tried their hardest to make ends meet at that time needed it. The egg and sardine sandwich became unnecessary in the 1960s as more reasonably priced protein options became available. Although this treat met all the requirements, it was largely forgotten, much like the sandwich that was next on the list. Number 9. Counterfeit chicken sandwich. Another sandwich designed for the hard times, in this case the Great Depression, was the mock chicken sandwich. Good food became a luxury as a result of this economic catastrophe, which left many Americans impoverished. For the most part, things like meat and chicken were out of reach for the average person. To make ends meet, people began to repurpose their leftovers, which is how mock chicken sandwiches came to be. It was an extremely simple dessert to prepare, ideal for the labor-intensive lives that the majority of people at the time led. 2 finely chopped tomatoes, beaten egg, grated cheese, onion, finely chopped herbs, butter, and a dash of salt and pepper are needed for the spread. You can make a mock chicken sandwich by cooking that over a pan and sandwiching it between 2 sandwich buns. The mock chicken sandwich tasted fantastic, but it lacked a luxury that many sandwiches from that era did not. When the real thing returned, though, it wasn't good enough to convince people to give up on it. Mock chicken sandwiches were rendered obsolete the moment real chicken sandwiches could be made. Number 10. Sandwich with peanut butter and mayonnaise. The sandwich with peanut butter and mayo was just one of the many inventive pairings that emerged in the 1920s. One popular theory about its origins is that it was created in 1929 as a way to provide food for striking streetcar workers. Over the ensuing decades, the sandwich's renown would grow dramatically. It was what parents packed for their kids to bring to school and fed them for breakfast. It would be present at luncheon tables, dinner tables, and picnic tables. Why? It didn't taste bad, was incredibly simple to make, and was incredibly inexpensive. It seems strange at first to combine peanut butter with mayonnaise, but wait until you taste it. A world of flavor just explodes in your mouth thanks to the perfect balance of the sour tang of the mayo and the sweet pop of the peanut butter. Over time, American households gradually replaced the peanut butter and mayo sandwich with other options as people began to move away from more unusual flavors. For such a simple dish, it was quite amazing. But like the next sandwich on the list, it was no match for the times.